let's take a look at Tuesday in the NBA. There are 11 games on. Let's look at if there's streaming options, who's in, who's out, what we need to do for fantasy. It's important. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I was just sitting thinking about the times that we used to all go out as a family for birthdays as kids to the local Outback Steakhouse. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at LockedOnFantasyBasketball. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That is $150 if your bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn to learn more. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We are available on all platforms. The double bangers, you hear? Go and listen to the audio. Go watch the video. Thumb it up. Leave your comments on the YouTube side. The notification bell's always awesome. And I would love if you could chuck a subscription my way. We're here to talk about Tuesday, the only non-streamable day for Week 18. There are 11 games on. You still might have streamable options or an ability on your team to have that open active roster spot. Most of you won't, but you might. After this is when we really get into streaming for the final 5 days of the week. So we've got these 11 games on. I guess that's as good a time as any for us to talk about them. So let's do it. First game. It is the Golden State Warriors and the Washington Wizards. This is the return of Chris Paul. He's back. The Warriors have 4 more games this week. They play Tuesday, and then they go Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So 3 games, 4 nights to end the week, all quality games. The Wizards go Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, so they don't play the weekend. In terms of injuries, Paul is back. Guy Santos is out. For the Wizards, Bilal is out. Isaiah Livers is out. And then you've got Landry Shamet, Denny Avdia, and Corey Kispert, all questionable. Obviously, Kispert, Shamet, Avdia, all playing sort of the 2 and the 3. Absences for those guys means amazingly you might have to look at Johnny Davis. It gives more minutes and touches to Tyus Jones. It gives more of those to old mate Jordan Poole as well. What we want to see for the Warriors side is the impact of Chris Paul, and I think probably importantly Brandon Podziemski, but also what it does to Kuminga, what it does to Draymond, what it does to Klay Thompson. But Podziemski's sort of really sitting fringy to me, and I reckon we might make a call to drop him after this game. For the Wizards, Jordan Poole was great last game. He shot well, he scored well, he played a lot of minutes, his usage is well up. Is that an ongoing thing? Can we actually rely on Jordan Poole? No, we can't, but let's see what happens here. In terms of streams, the Warriors, there's not much that's under 50% rostered, like Gary Payton, maybe. If you have any faith in Jackson Davis or Šarić, you shouldn't, but there's not a lot going on there for those guys. For the Wizards, Marvin Bagley's down to 50% rostered. I think he should be rostered, especially in a points format. He hasn't been awesome, because he's not, but the opportunity still remains there for Bagley to put up enough numbers that I think he should be rostered. The next game we look at is your Dallas Mavericks taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Both of these teams, 4 more games this week. Dallas goes Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. The Cavs go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So 3 more quality games for these teams this week. At the moment, Dante Exum is doubtful. Tristan Thompson is out for the Cavs. And the nasal fracture trio, what a name for just a swing jazz band. Doncic, Kleber, and Lively are all listed probable. I'm not going to list most guys who are probable on the injury report. 95% of the time they play. It's not really worth mentioning. Josh Green's the guy I want to watch in Dallas, who's putting up some really good numbers at the moment. It's coming on basically like insane shooting numbers, like 60% shooting. He's hitting all his threes, he's hitting twos. He doesn't take many of them, but he's getting some steals as well. If you trust that level of shooting, I don't. But if you trust it, maybe he is a long-term guy. I don't think it is, but let's see what happens. And then for the Cavs, Don Mitchell returned last game. Max Strus turned into garbage. And he also did hurt his knee in that game, and that limited some of his minutes. To me, he feels very much like a fringe option, but The 3 more quality games after Tuesday means the schedule's pretty good for the Cavs. So if you want Strus, then you use him there. In terms of streams, Derek Lively's actually down under 50% rostered. Rightfully so, not a must-roster guy anymore. But in terms of streaming in, there is some value in getting maybe multiple defensive stats out of him. I think he's had 3 blocks and 3 steals. 3 steals, 1 game, 3 blocks the next game in the last couple. And Dracaris Levert has dropped down roster-wise, rightfully so again. More points league than category league, but he was great in the last one. The problem is all the games before that, he was not great, so that makes it a little bit hard to trust. The next one we look at is the Brooklyn Nets. They are taking on your Orlando Magic. The Nets go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They also play on Monday, so it's a back-to-back for the Nets. The Magic are Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday this week. Ben Simmons is still listed questionable for Monday. I will be stunned if he plays on Monday. I'll be stunned if he plays both these games. More stunned if he plays both of them. So just watch for Simmons. If he's ruled out Monday, there's still a chance he's ruled out Tuesday. If he plays Monday, he definitely won't play Tuesday is my guess. Paulo Banchero is officially listed questionable with an illness that cost him the game over the weekend. I expect that he plays. John Isaac somehow is listed questionable. I don't think he plays, but he is listed questionable officially, while Gaz Harris is off the injury report and ready to go. Wendell Carter is the one I want to watch because last game with Banchero out, he played 33 minutes as a power forward and was great. But prior to that, he was getting 26 minutes as a center and not good. I don't think we need to add him, but let's see if that sort of kickstarts anything. In terms of stream guys, for the Nets, it probably is Day'Ron Sharpe, except if Simmons is out, we look at Schroeder if he's available, or we look to Dennis Smith. And then for the Magic, Jalen Suggs is down under 50% rostered. He just should be on rosters. So, yeah, stream him in, but I think he should be rostered in all 12s. The next game, the New Orleans Pelicans and the New York Knickerbockers. The Pelicans go Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday this week. So they've only got 2 more games after Tuesday. The Knicks also Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. We know, obviously, every game after Tuesday is a quality game as well. For the injuries, there's quite a few absences here. CJ McCollum is officially listed questionable for the Pelicans with his ankle problem. Jose Alvarado is out through suspension. Dyson Daniels is out with that knee injury. And then Randall, Anunoby, and Robinson are all out for the Knicks. If CJ is out, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, big boosts for those guys. And a big boost for Jonas Valanciunas as well. Jones is killing at the moment. With Daniels out, with Alvarado out, he's going to play 37 minutes again probably. He's shooting the lights out, and he started out the season hot. He went ice cold for 2 months or whatever it was, and now he's red hot again. Let's see how long that sticks. It is a back-to-back for the Knicks. I don't imagine them sitting anybody. In terms of streams, maybe it's Larry Nance, but that would change a little bit depending on the status of McCollum. But the guys like Murphy and Jones, these sort of players are already rostered, and Jordan Hawkins just doesn't play enough. For the Knicks, Alec Burks is probably the stream guy. If someone dropped Bojan Bogdanovic, they were right to do that, but you can stream him in, and if you're in shallower leagues, then Precious Achiuwa and Josh Hart jump ahead of those guys in terms of streaming preferences. Today's episode is brought to you by Nissan. Are you the kind of driver that likes to push things a little bit further? You ever wonder what adventure could be just around the corner? Well, our friends at Nissan have a lineup of SUVs with the capabilities to take your adventure to the next level. The 2024 Nissan Rogue. It is here and it is spectacular. It is perfect for city drives and great escapes. It's got class exclusive Google built in, and that's your always updating assistant to call on for almost anything. Gone are the days of connecting your phone to get that capability. You've got Google Assistant, Google Maps, and Google Play Store already built into the 12.3-inch HD touchscreen infotainment system. The 2024 Rogue is the perfect mid-size crossover for your next adventure. And Nissan's incredible lineup also includes the 2024 Nissan Pathfinder. It's got room of up to 8 expansive cargo capacity and advanced available 4x4 capabilities. With 284 horsepower and up to 6,000 pounds of towing, when adventure calls, the Pathfinder is there to answer. So, take the Nissan Rogue, the Nissan Pathfinder, or the Nissan Armada and go and find your next big adventure. Shop nissanusa.com. Let's get back into looking at the games. That is 4 done. The next one is the Philadelphia 76ers and the Boston Celtics. Schedule-wise, the Sixers go Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, as do the Celtics. So they have got the identical schedule for the week. 2 quality games Friday, Sunday there for these teams. Embiid's going to be out. We know that. KJ Martin wasn't on the injury report when I did the injury show earlier. He is on the injury report now as questionable. And Bob Covington is going to be out with his knee injury. That means the Celtics injury report totally clean. For the Sixers, DeAnthony Melton was great last game. He still didn't play 20 minutes. I am very skeptical of 30% usage DeAnthony Melton being something that sticks, but we want to find that out. A, what do they do with his minutes? B, what does his usage look like? How do they prioritize Lowry, Hield, Batum, Oubre, and Melton? There's 5 of those guys for 96 minutes of play. Let's see how they distribute them. Again, I do like Melton. I'm not 100% certain that he's must roster in 12-team category leagues. I'm not, even though last game was great. For the Celtics, I'm not watching much there. Drew Holiday's been up and down. Can he develop consistency? But they're just who they are, really. In terms of stream guys, Kyle Lowry got like 21 minutes last game. How do they utilize him? He is probably streamable. I would prefer an Oubre over him if available. And then for the Celtics, Luke Cornett, but that's just deeper league stuff that we're streaming in there. The next game, it is the Quinn Snyder Bowl. Utah traveling to take on the Atlanta Hawks. Both of these teams go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday this week, so 3 more games for the week. Trae Young is out and Onyeka Okongwu is out. Mohamed Gay is questionable, but I don't think he's going to play. And then you've also got the Jazz having a clean injury report at the moment. For the Jazz, it's about watching Walker Kessler because post-break, we saw him start and play post-deadline, he started, played 27 minutes. But okay, that's good. And now he's back to a 20-minute backup as Taylor Hendricks has taken that spot. And all of the promise of Walker Kessler from last season has evaporated. There are genuine concerns about how he fits into modern NBA teams with switching and offensive stuff, and Will Hardy has just had no hesitation dropping him back. In a 12-team points, I don't think you need to hold on to Kessler. Categories, I still would, though. For the Hawks, DeAndre Hunter hasn't missed a free throw in forever. I think he's at 90% for the season, and his last 4 games have been perfect. His field shooting's also up. Always the problem with him is, can you rely upon that? Because he doesn't bring rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, but minutes are solid enough. And usage is going to be higher with Trae Young out. So we do like what he's bringing at the moment. In terms of stream guys, these are both under 50% rostered, and I think they both should be 12-team league players. Keyonte George and DeAndre Hunter. George is going to be up and down with efficiency, we know that, but role is locked in, 30-plus minutes a night. Hunter, well, I just need to see you do something that's not scoring, and then when he doesn't hit the shots, then it gets a little bit iffy. But I think both of these guys are 12-team league players. We go to the next game, and it is the Charlotte Hornets. They are going to Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. I want to see, first of all, the Hornets schedule 4 more games this week. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. That's very strong. The Bucks just Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Injury-wise, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that both Mark Williams and LaMelo Ball aren't going to play. That's not official, but I'll just say that. I think we're pretty okay with saying that. Seth Curry and Davis Bertans missed the last game for the Hornets. I'm going to put them as questionable here. They have been in the rotation, and if they do play, it means someone like Bryce McGowan probably gets limited there. And then for the Bucks, we know that James Christian Middleton is out again. Does he miss a couple more? I probably think he does, and it obviously continues to be frustrating, and they'll just start Jay Crowder in his spot. Who are we watching? Tre Mann. To me, they don't close games with him. They put Vasily Micic in there. Mann still gets close to 30 minutes a night. He hasn't really had a big usage spike, and I would have loved to have seen that happen. I am still rostering him. I do still think he's a guy we want to have, but where this all goes, rest of season, it's going to highly depend on LaMelo, and I think we might get a situation where Mann looks droppable, and Melo comes back, and then Melo goes out again, and then Mann comes back in. That's possible, but we should still have Mann on our roster. And then for the Bucks, Bobby Portis, his minutes are down. He was great last game, but it was a blowout. 21 minutes of Bob Portis, not enough for me, but let's see what they do with him here. In terms of streams, all these stream guys are over 50% available. So Tre Mann on the Charlotte side, and then streaming legend Leaky Beasley, who's got really strong value with Chris Middleton out. We've seen those numbers bump up for Leaky. Next, we go to Detroit. They are going to Chicago. It is the Andre Drummond, Ben Gordon Bowl. The Pistons go Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, but they also play Monday, so it's a back-to-back coming in here for Detroit, while Chicago have Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday as their schedule. Marcus Sasser is out for the whole week, and we expect that Isaiah Stewart is going to be available for the Pistons. Stewart is still suspended for Monday's game, but there's been no word on his ankle injury, so I think that he'll be available to go on Tuesday, or did they lie about the ankle injury so they could get his suspension out of the way? Totally possible as well. At the moment, I'm expecting Stewart to play on Tuesday. Torrey Craig is going to be out for the Bulls, as are the rest of season guys in Zach LaVine and Patrick Williams. They're done. Drummond's the one I want to watch in Chicago because basically he reverted back to a strict backup now. And I don't think the Pistons situation, if it's Simone Fontecchio at the 4, would necessitate Drummond starting or playing big minutes. But what about if Alf Stewart starts, God forbid? What if Alf Stewart starts? Does that mean more Drummond? I don't feel super confident about it. The Bulls do on that Wednesday, which is this is the first of a back-to-back for Chicago. Wednesday's against the Cavs. So we might get big Drummond minutes in that one. So if you got Drummond, you might want to just hold for that. But his minutes are obviously dwindling. In terms of streams, Simone Fontecchio's there. For the Pistons, he's a points and 3 sort of a player. And Drummond for the Bulls. The schedule, again, we look at that, but maybe he doesn't do much on Tuesday. But there probably is a good opportunity for him to do some pretty good stuff on Wednesday against the Cavs. Next up, San Antonio Spurs, Minnesota Timberwolves. In terms of the schedule, the Spurs, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. The Wolves, 4 more games. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Pretty good schedule there for Minnesota. The only injury at the moment is Rudy Gobert, who is questionable. They do this so often. The Wolves, and they've done it with Gobert a couple of times this season. If he sits one game of the back-to-back, they always list him questionable for the next game, and they leave the questionable status running right up until the time. So it seems like they didn't just sit him for rest. And all the reports today, Rudy Gobert practice. He looked good in practice. Yeah, I know. He's going to play. But they have officially listed him questionable. Maybe I'll have egg on my face if he sits out. I don't think he will. Anyway, for the Spurs, the horse Keldon Johnson played 4 minutes last game, and Pop just said, absolutely not. Get out of here. And the reason given, and I didn't talk about this in the recap show yesterday because I didn't find out that information until after. Pop was just basically, to paraphrase, he goes, the guy just keeps making the same mistake over and over again. And if he's not going to learn, I'm not going to play him. That was basically the gist of it. It's like the same stuff all the time. And this is the same thing that I've said for Keldon Johnson for years. I don't think he's a good player. I don't think he's a winning player. He's a guy that can, if you give him a lot of usage, he scores and your team is terrible. But as an all-round winning guy, I just don't think it's there. He's not a guy that I like as a player. But let's see, does that benching from Pop is Keldon going to be out of the rotation? I highly doubt it. But we do need to watch those minutes. For the Wolves, the Wizard of Naz Reid. The schedule here is good, obviously. But we saw last game with no Gobert, Reid didn't even start. He's only streamable. That's it. He's not a must-roster guy. There's not enough production. This schedule is good. 3 quality games the rest of the week. That's solid enough. If you want to hold for that, I get it. But that's about it. In terms of streams, Jeremy Sohan's dropped under 50%. He stunk in the last game, but he was really good the 2 before that. Getting a 33-minute starter with top 90 upside is useful enough to stream. And then Kyle Anderson's probably the Wolves guy that I take a look at as a streaming option for us. Houston and OKC. We go to this one. I feel like this game just happened the other day. But anyway, the Rockets Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. The Thunder Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday for the schedule. 3 games for the week. The only injury at the moment is that Tari lost season is out. For how long? We don't know. I want to see Amen Thompson. Last game, it was very disappointing. Amen only played 21 minutes. He shot 20% in that game, but only 21 minutes. I thought we were getting 25 a night from Amen. I'm holding, but we obviously need to watch how those minutes play out. And then, yes, Lou Dort's playing well. So we put a focus on Lou Dort. Can he continue to play well? If he plays like he's playing at the moment, absolutely a 12-team league guy. I'd like to see it for longer than 3 games, but he's playing well. And then it was bound to happen. Your universe is about to implode. The 2 stream guys. We've got Midwest Dylan Brooks in Lou Dort, and we've got Texas Lou Dort in Dylan Brooks. So we're just streaming the mirror images of these guys. They're playing against each other. Let's see which one of them misses the most shots. That's what we're in for. But they both can put up good games, and obviously they can put up bona fide stinkers. That is what they do. The last game of the day is one with the longest injury report since I've gone to this new injury reporting format that we've seen. It is the Miami Heat and the Portland Trail Blazers. Miami goes Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They also play Monday, so they're leading into this one with a back-to-back. And Portland go Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, so they got the back-to-back at the end of the week. For the Heat, Jimmy Butler is suspended Monday, so he'll return on Tuesday. Hero and Rozier are out on Monday, so I'm listing them questionable for Tuesday. Jovic was suspended on Monday, so he'll be back on Tuesday. Josh Richardson is out with his shoulder injury. Thomas Bryant is still suspended, so he won't play. For the Blazers, Malcolm Brogdon is out, and I'm going to rule Scoot Henderson out. Going by Chauncey Billups' comments yesterday saying Scoot's not doing any on-court work. Pretty shocked. If he plays in this one, I would think that Saturday is a target for him to return on the back-to-back at the end of the week. But that's a lengthy list of names. On the Portland side, what do we want to watch? Well, we want to watch Anthony Simons because he was dreadful, and he is playing really poorly at the moment. And that hope of him being this high-volume scorer who dishes assists, he's been bad, honestly. If they actually... was going to say, I know that there was talk of him being traded in the offseason. I know that was true, and then they didn't end up doing it. But look, the future to me, there has to be Scoot and Shaden. I don't think Simons is that player, but whatever. And he hasn't taken that step forward this season. Let's see if he's turned stuff around. In terms of streams, probably Caleb Martin, but obviously it's a little bit complicated with the return of potentially Hero, potentially Rozier, Jovic and Butler. They're all going to be back in this next game, and that chucks a lot of things off. And Chris Murray is available everywhere. He's starting for the Blazers, playing 33 minutes. He had 9 rebounds and assists and steals last game. Didn't shoot well, but there's definite stream value in Chris Murray for those deeper formats. And like I said, just available literally everywhere, basically. Today's episode is also brought to you by our sponsor, BetterHelp. Sometimes we all need that opportunity. You got to get something off your chest. You might be frustrated. You might be frustrated as a Blazers fan. Why can't Scoot get out there? What are we doing with his backcourt? Why didn't we trade Malcolm Brogdon? Is this team ever going to be good? Is Jody Allen ever going to talk to the press? Whatever it is. I don't know why I'm focusing on the Blazers here, but you've all frustrations. Sport, often down the lower end, but we use sport as entertainment. We use it as a release, and sometimes there are things that frustrate you. And getting that stuff off your chest to someone who is unbiased, you might talk to someone else and go, bro, who cares? It's sport. But often these can be things and skills that you can learn to translate into other areas of your life. You don't want to be that person who your team loses, so you throw a brick at your TV on the wall and destroy your own property. That's not a great way of coping with things. Get it out. Get things out. Talk through it, and that is where therapy can come in. So I've been thinking about starting therapy. Give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible and suited to your schedule. Visit betterhelp.com /LockedOnNBA to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com /LockedOnNBA. As I was getting ready to record this show, my partner came in and saw the BetterHelp read up on the screen, and she only saw the bottom of it, and because they tell you to spell out help. Right, so all it looks like is giant capitals with all these dashes between it. So the bottom of my screen, with the top of it was all covered by my stopwatch there, and it just says HELP, giant letters, all separated. She thought, bro, you're writing like a call for help letter to somebody. What's his email? That's yeah. Anyway, stupid story, but that's what we do. Let's talk about other streaming opportunities for us. We're looking at 2-for-1s. So the guys that play Tuesday, Wednesday. This might not apply because you might not have an ability to add someone on Tuesday, but if you do, we're about maximizing games played. So we're looking at Andre Drummond with the potential of a big game on Wednesday. Karis LeVert, obviously, can really kill you in percentages, but good volume could come. Kyle Anderson, Derek Lively, who might only play 18 minutes a night, but 36 minutes across 2 days is useful enough. Jaden McDaniels, he's bad on a one-game basis, but getting 2 of them in, yeah, why not? And then Joshy Green, who's apparently the best shooter in the world, but you might get 50-plus minutes, 2 games, 1 ad. That's all a massive W. In terms of chunky stuff, Tuesday through Saturday, remember Tuesday is the only high-volume day, so the rest are low. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 3 quality games in the next 5 days. We don't love him as a must-roster guy, but this is when you add him, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Aldama and the Grizzlies, in fact, Aldama and the Memphis question marks, they play Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. I could have put John Conchar there. I could have put Jordan Goodwin there. I could have put Trey Jemison. I could have put Luke Kennard, but I don't know who's going to play. So it's a little bit risky even to say that Santi Aldama's worth a look because he might not play. I do have G.G. Jackson there. He will play. He just should be on rosters, especially with that schedule. And I've got Zaire Williams there the Wednesday, Friday, Saturday too, although his knee's been an issue, but he's worth a look with that schedule there for them too. I've also got Rui Hachimura and the Lakers. Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday they play, so 3 more quality games in this 5-game chunk. He's not great, but getting volume in is awesome there. And then Tre Mann, only got the 2 quality games. One of them is, well, you got the Tuesday with 11 games on it, then they play Thursday, Friday. I think he's good enough to overcome that, and he is useful enough and just should be rostered at this point until things change later on. From Tuesday through to next Tuesday, who has got 5 games in 8 nights? It's the Nets. We know next week, week 19, the Nets have 5 games in that week. So that's obviously important for your fantasy playoffs if it starts. Simmons is not playing all those, so Smith and Schroeder and Dorian Finney-Smith and Day'Ron Sharp and all these guys get this boost with those 5 games on next week, but also starting this Tuesday, 5 games in 8 nights as well. The Hornets have 5 in 8, the Cavs have 5 in 8, the Mavericks have 5 in 8, and the Wolves have 5 in 8. Nothing really too worrisome there in terms of players being shut down for overload. Maybe you worry about the Hornets if LaMelo Ball ever appears, but at this point that doesn't feel super likely. Streams of the day. For 10-teamers, we are using, again, as I described yesterday, a higher percentage cutoff. 10 teams, Precious Achiuwa is still available in over 40% of leagues. He just should be on rosters, and you stream him in until stuff starts to fall apart. 12-team, I am going with Tre Mann. 14-team, Chris Dunn. That, obviously, you've got to be ready to punt points, but it's about getting steals and some assists for him in his 20 minutes a night. That's still really useful. And then his teammate for 16-team category streaming, Taylor Hendricks. He fouled out last game, but he's played 26 minutes in back-to-back games. There's a 12-7, 1 block, 1 3, 1 assist sort of value. And in 16-teamers, it's unbelievably valuable. For points leagues, Yahoo and ESPN, Tre Mann is the guy that I am going to there. And let's finish it off by looking at more lists of stream guys. For Tuesday, 10-team streamers, we are going to Achiuwa, Ayo Dosunmu, Alex Caruso, Tre Mann, Paul Reed, and Amen Thompson. Those first 5 names, I think, are all must-roster 10-team league players. Amen, probably not a must-roster in 10s, but should be on a roster or at least streamed in when the game's there, but he's a little bit more iffy. Those are the guys I just think should be rostered. For your 12-teamers, we go to Keyonte George, who, again, is a 12-team must. Jalen Suggs is a 12-team must. DeAndre Hunter and Nick Richards, I also think, should be rostered in 12-team leagues. So you got George, Suggs, Hunter, and Richards. And then it's Leaky Beasley and Grant Williams. Grant may be on a 12-teamer. He was looking good, and then he sort of pulled back. So I can see both him and Leaky Beasley being streamable guys at the back end of a 12-team league roster. For deeper leagues, I've got Chris Dunn there and Taylor Hendricks. John Isaac, if he plays. Corey Kispert, if he plays. Cody Martin, who could even jump up into the 12-team stream discussion. And Cam Whitmore, who just gets a lot of points in those limited minutes. And speaking of points, let's look at the Yahoo Fantasy Points stream options for the games on Tuesday. All 50% or below. Tre Mann, Keyonte George, Marvin Bagley, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Suggs, and Cam Whitmore. And that brings us to the end of a daily look-ahead show for Tuesday. If you are here on YouTube, I want to see your thumbs. I know you've done it already. Use the thumb to ring the bell also. Subscribe, leave your comments below. On the audio side of things, download it, be a double banger. Leave reviews where possible. Share it out, guys. We are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.